Lori Magnuson over at Stamp Sunshine on Facebook, and I make cards. And today I'm going to demonstrate how to make this card. This card is cheery and happy. I made it a birthday card. It could be a thank you card or something else. Of course, I also decorated the envelope. I used the photopolymer stamp set from Stampin' Up! Called Pretty Perennials, and I also used the coordinating dies that come as a bundle called Perennial Petals dies. You get a lot of dies, and that is how I cut out these little detailed flowers for layering here. All right, so I cased this card from Cindy Wilkinson on Pinterest, changed it up a little bit. She had a different orientation for the card, but the card is going to be made out of our Bumblebee cardstock. I made it here out of So Saffron, but today I'm going to be using our Bumblebee cardstock, and I'm also going to be using the new DSP in the Celebration catalog called Flower and Field. So the first thing I want to do, I need one more flower here, and so I need to go ahead and stamp it and die cut it. I lost one, and I thought, well, why not? I might as well just go ahead and stamp it for you. So I have a piece of scrap paper here, and I'm using the Bumblebee ink and one of our clear blocks with the photopolymer stamp. You can see exactly where the ink is, and you can see exactly where you're stamping. So I just need a small little piece here, and then I'm going to die cut this out using one of the dies, perfect, from the set. So the die that I need is going to be this one. And I'm going to bring in my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and use it really quickly because it's small enough that I can just keep it right here on my table. I'm using three of the plates, the base plate and 2 clear plates. Now, one thing that you want to know if you should decide to get this is, one little trick is you want to sort of stack these into more of a graduated sense. So instead of just putting them all in at the same flat juncture, whatever. So anyway, that being said, sort of, not very well, but I'll show you what I mean. I'm just going to put my die on. I don't have a magnetic plate, so if it moves around, I might need to use a little bit of washi tape, but I think I'm going to be able to get it. Okay. For the sake of this demonstration, I think that's just fine. Pretty close. All right. Now I have all of the elements that I need for my card. You can punch out as many of these as you want and put them all over the card. So basically what I'm going to be doing is layering these, a few of these, up before I put them on my card, and then so that I know which pieces and parts go together, and set those aside. All right, so the next thing that I want to do is go ahead and, after I finish my stamping, I did this off camera before I started my video. I used Memento ink, and I used Memento ink on both the inside and the outside. And as you could see, the sentiment is from Pretty Perennials, and the inside sentiment is from a different stamp set, and I'll post that in the notes. I don't have it offhand on the top of my head right now. So let's just go ahead and make the fold. If you're following along, I scored this at I think it's about 1 1/4 here. Yeah, at the bottom, so I could fold this back again. And that's what makes this a fun fold card. So I'm going to go ahead and score that. And I cut my 2 pieces of designer series paper so that one would go underneath and one would go on the top here. So now I'm just going to go ahead and adhere those. And by the way, let's just check really quick. Yeah, these are 1 inch, and this is, yeah, 1 1/4 inches. So I'm just going to take my adhesive, and boy, here's the hard part, is choosing one side or the other of this beautiful paper. But I already have made my decision, and I'm decided that I'm going to use the dots. And I'm going to put the dots down here on this bottom one, and I'm just going to center it as best I can so that there's a same amount of edge, same amount of space all the way around here. Okay, then I'm going to take my next piece of designer series paper, and look at how cute this is going to coordinate. By the way, these little flowers look so much like the ones that are in the paper. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue on that so that I can then put this down. Once again, centering it as best I can within the edges of this 1 1/4 inch folded area. Okay, burnish that one more time really good. This cardstock from Stampin' Up! Is really thick, so you want to burnish that really good. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and seal this down. Because there's really no reason to leave it flopping open. It would not be a good look. So go ahead and, after you've got your paper on, or I suppose you could do the paper after you glue that down. But so the next thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and add my flowers. So I'm going to put dimensionals on these. Stampin' Up! Sells these so that you can add dimension to the back of your elements that you're putting onto your card. And just gives it a really pretty look. All right, I'm going to look at my card that I had made so I get it in the right spot. So that's going to go right about here. Then I'm going to take my next layer, and I'm just going to put glue just around the middle. It doesn't take much, and it's okay if you don't have glue around the outside edge, because that's going to give it a little bit of a looser look and let it kind of spring up from the edge of the bottom part of the flower. And then I'm just going to put my center in. Just a little dab of glue is all it takes. And you may want to use a tweezer to get that on so that you don't end up with glue on your fingers. So that's the first flower. And then the next flower is going to be the yellow one. And I'm going to also pop that flower up just using 1-dimensional. And I'm going to put that right up here on this edge. I think I'm going to tuck it under just a little. And then that's going to also have a center on it. And I'm going to go ahead and put just a little bit of glue on that. Once again, use my tweezers to get that exactly where I want it. And then the last one I'm going to do is just this little small flower, and I'm just going to lay it flat down here on the bottom, sort of on the edge of the other ones. Now, if you wanted to, you could cut out several other flowers and put them around in other places. I think it would be adorable. My sample card here, I added an extra flower underneath here just because I thought of it after the fact. I thought that would be cute. I had an extra flower. But for today's card, I'm not going to add that. I'm just going to do it this way. Now, the last thing I want to show you is, I thought it would be pretty, and the sample that I saw online from Cindy Wilkinson was, she had black sort of sequined centers on these, and I didn't have that. I just had regular pearls, and so I was curious if coloring the pearl with Sharpie marker would work, and it did. And so I'm going to just use that in the center of my big flower. The other thing is, I thought if you have the alcohol markers, the blends, that would work well too, but I don't happen to have the black blends, but I did have a Sharpie marker. So I'm just going to take off the other two small ones that I colored. And again, these are just our pearl basic jewels. And I colored it with a regular old Sharpie marker. And I did a couple coats, and I think it looks really cute. So that's a nice option if you don't have any blacks for the centers of your cards. So anyway, that's our card for today, and I hope you like it. Again, if you would like to purchase any of the items that you saw during this demonstration, you can go to LoriMagnuson.stampinup.net, and I hope that you're sending your cards and letters to friends that are needing some cheering up and remembering birthdays. It's a special way to let them know you care. So from Arizona, where it's sunny and warm, Stamp Sunshine. Thank you.